Hello, welcome to the Villages, Florida. My name is David. I'm a realtor with Florida Realty Investments, and I can be reached at DavidisinFlorida@gmail.com. Every week, we take a look at what's happening with real estate here in the Villages, give you some idea as to whether prices are heading higher or lower in the short and long term. We'll talk about how long properties are staying on the market, how many properties there are, what the price per square foot is, etc. We'll cover as many aspects of the real estate market here as we can. Couple of things to note. First, we produce the show every Monday. Make sure you check the date so that you're getting the most recent information. Secondly, all of this information is drawn from the multiple listing service, the MLS. It does not include any information on properties that are in the village's own internal listing service, the VLS. For that reason, if you are looking to buy a property in the villages, you probably should hire two agents, an MLS agent and a VLS agent. If you don't have both agents, then you will not be able to see all the properties available for sale. So, with that out of the way, let's take a look at what's happening this week. As always, we start by taking a look at the 10-year government bond yield. This is the government bond that most closely tracks mortgage rates. What we're looking at on this graph are daily bars going back to the middle of 2017. You can see that early in 2020, the 10-year bond was yielding 0.398%. It's currently yielding 4.34%. This is the highest rate that we have seen in this cycle, and it certainly appears as if interest rates are heading higher. Mortgage rates currently are approaching 8%. You can imagine what would happen if rates got to 10%, and certainly 2% higher in rates looks very possible looking at this graph. I know people in the villages here are very sanguine about price prospects and expect that prices here will never decline. It's hard to imagine that interest rates going from under 3% to close to 10%, and as I mentioned, they're almost 8% now. It's hard to believe that interest rates tripling or almost quadrupling are not going to have an effect on every real estate market. So let's now turn our attention to what's happening in the villages itself. Here we look at total listings, which this week number 295, down one from the 296 listings that were in effect last week, and substantially higher than the 200 listings that were in effect this time last year. Prices for all listings here in the villages range from 153,000 to just under $4.5 million. Here we look at the median listing price per square foot for all listings in the villages, currently at exactly $260 a square foot, down very slightly from the 260.45 that was in effect last week, and down from the 272.28 median price per square foot that was in effect this week last year. Now we look at how long listings have been on the market. This is the median time on the market for all listings. Currently 51 days, the median time, an improvement from the 55 days that was the median time last week, and barely worse than the 41-day median time that was in effect this week last year. Here we take a more in-depth look at all listings, broken down by price segment. As you can see, the most active price segment, the $300,000 to $500,000 range. This week there are 191 properties for sale. Last week there were 201. The week before that there were 196. The week before that there were 193, and the week before that 200. And our last look at listings. This takes a look at how many listings have been on the market for 100 days or longer. This week, 75 out of the 295 total listings have been on the market 100 days or longer, which is 25%, slightly better than the 26% that was in effect last week. Now we take a look at new listings and pending home sales. This week, there are 31 new listings. There were 35 last week. There were 21 this week a year ago. Homes that went pending over the last 7 days numbered 32 compared to 41 the week before, identical to the 32 listings that went pending this week a year ago. Here we take a closer look at the new listings broken down by price segment. As I said, this week there are 31 new listings, last week 35, the same week a year ago 21. Prices for the new listings ranged from just under 200,000 to just under 4.5 million. In the most active price segment, the $300,000 to $500,000 range, this week there are 15 new listings. Last week there were also 15. The week before, 23. The week before that, 18. And the week before that, 20. Now we'll take a closer look at the homes that went pending over the last 7 days. Those homes went pending at a median price per square foot of $250.31 a square foot, an improvement from the $249.69 that was in effect last week, but down noticeably from the $269.24 that was the median price on the homes that went pending a year ago. Here we take a look at the homes that went pending to see how long they were on the market before going pending. This week, the homes that went pending were on the market for 67 days compared to 29 days last week. And this is also dramatically worse than last year at the same time when the median time on the market for the homes that went pending was only 23.5 days. We'll see if this portends a slowdown here. And this look at the homes that went pending shows us what the price change from the original listing price was. For the homes that went pending over the last 7 days, the median price change from the original listing price was a decrease of 6.3%. This is slightly worse than the 6.26% decrease that was in effect last week, and a lot worse than the 4.8% decrease that was in effect this week last year. Now we'll take a look at the homes that sold and closed over the last 7 days. They numbered 25, down from 29 last week, about the same as the 22 homes that sold the same week last year. This certainly is a dramatic drop. We'll have to wait to see what this implies for the future trends of prices here. Here we take a closer look at the homes that sold and closed over the last 7 days. In the most active price segment, the $300,000 to $500,000 range, the last 7 days saw 16 homes sold. Previous 21, 7 days prior to that, 20, 7 days prior to that, 23, and the 7 days prior to that, 26. Here we take another look at the homes that sold and closed over the last 7 days to get some idea as to the median price per square foot. Of those homes that closed over the last 7 days, the median price was $255 a square foot. Slight improvement from the $250 a square foot that we saw last week, but still down about 10% from the $276 a square foot that was the median price on homes that sold a year ago. And here we look at how long the homes that sold and closed last week were on the market before being taken off the market. 41 days the median time, worse than the 31 days that was in effect the week before, and only slightly worse than the 36.5 days that was in effect this time last year. And our last look at the homes that sold and closed last week, how many of them were taken off the market within 7 days of being listed. 4 out of the 25 homes that sold and closed over the last 7 days were on the market for 7 days or less, which is 16%, about the same as the 17% that was in effect the week before. And we take a look at what percentage of all listings have reduced their asking price from the original listing price. 55.59% have, compared to 55.29% that had last week. This compares to 52% of listings that had reduced their asking price this week last year. So that concludes this week's look at the Village's real estate market. If you are looking to buy a home here and are trying to get a good deal, or you're trying to sell your home and you're trying to maximize your return in a reasonable period of time, please reach out to me at DavidisinFlorida@gmail.com. Be happy to help you with any questions you have, including about life in the Villages itself. Hope to hear from you. Take care.